So in this tutorial, I'm going to show you a Google tool called Google Keep. Basically what Google Keep is think of it as all the sticky notes that you have on your counter at home or on your desk, organized in a way that you can quickly put them in different piles. You can add images. You can even add sounds to them. Okay, so I got there by going in my Google account to keep.google.com. But if you're in any different tool, whether it's your Gmail or your Google Drive, you could click over here on what I like to call your waffle, the dots. And if you go through, Google Keep is showing up, at least for me, in the list. So here you can see I have a sample Google Keep, okay? And what it does is it keeps all your notes together in one place. So it's not like you have separate documents like you would a Google Drive. Your Keep is just one thing. You'll notice the things I have in here. I have text, I have images, I can have checkboxes, I can have things that have links that take me to other places. I can have a picture of Pinky and the Brain, so you can have a variety of things. You can also see that some of them are color-coded. You'll notice that some of them have these different words at the bottom. Those are tags or labels. So I could go, for example, and click on Work. And it shows me just the things that I have labeled as work. If I click back on Notes, it'll show all of them. You can see how things can have multiple labels. So for example, this one has Irisburg and work. So if I click on either of those labels, it would show that same item. There's also an option for reminders. Reminders would show you recent or upcoming reminders. You can see here this one has a reminder. For any of these, I could just click on this little hand and I could say to put in a reminder. So this one I'm going to have it remind me today. So I look at reminders, it'll show up there. Now what the reminders will do is when I'm in my Google account, it'll actually pop up in the corner a visual reminder to do this. So not only is it my sticky to-do note list, it will also put it right in my face when things need to be done. Now to make these labels, you can see here I can click the plus to make a new label. To make a new note, I can click here and just start typing in my information. So for my title, I'll just call this one sample and information. Okay, whatever it happens to be. Now you see I have all these different options. So one, I could color code it. So I'll make this one yellow, for example. I could add an image to it, so I could upload something. So why don't I add this track schedule to it, okay, as an image. Archive, there is an option on the side where you can archive notes. So if you don't want to delete them forever, but you kind of want to put them aside, you could do that. And if I click here on these dots, you can see it gives me all these other options I can do. So I can make a copy, I can delete the note, which is what I'll do now. I'll just kind of get rid of that one because it wasn't something I want to keep. The other options you have for taking a note, you can take a note with an image. Okay, so again, I could find an image. I don't know if I have one on my computer, but basically it would give you something like this, where it would be a note connected to it. Or you can do a note with a drawing. It gives you this drawing board. You'd have to be a better artist than me on the computer to do a good note with this, but it is an option. Okay. So, some other things you can do with this. Here it gives you the different views. So I could put in kind of a list view or the tile view. You can search. Okay. So if I want to search for that note that has Bora Bora in it, I could do that. You can collaborate on notes. So you can see here, I had gone ahead and I had shared this note as a collaborator with another Google account I have. So if I even go to that Google account, you can see there's that one note that I shared with that other Google account. And anything I change here, so if I'm really excited about someday going to that magical trip to Bora Bora, when I go to the other account and once it refreshes the content, it should update the content here. Okay? And vice versa. If I'm less excited here because I realize how expensive it is, eventually when it updates here, you can see it changes there. Okay? One thing that doesn't carry over when you collaborate with someone else are the labels. So here you can see this one has no labels on it. I have no labels in this other account. So the labels are personal, which means you can organize your sticky notes the way you want them to be, regardless of whether they've been shared with you or if you've made them yourself originally. There is also an app for this. So let me bring up my iPad. Okay, I'll hide my browser note for a minute. So you can see here I have my iPad screen showing up. It's the same exact thing, you know, same notes, a little different interface, but the same exact thing. So you can see I can change from the tile to list mode. The thing where it changes the most is the option for the notes. I can still take a regular note, but I can also, I have the little icon for a microphone. So I can take an audio note. There you can see it's recorded. I'll give this a title. We'll just call it audio. You can also, if I click on the camera, since my iPad has a built-in camera, I could take a photo right from here and add it into my note. Okay, so if I want these boxes, I could add that in, use that photo, and add my title and whatever notes I want to it. Okay, so I'm going to unshare my iPad for a minute and open back up my browser window. You can see here it automatically syncs with my account with my browser, so it's the same content both places. Here's that little triangle, so you can see here where I recorded it. Play it again. I can take an audio note. Okay, and I could download the audio. I can download it as a separate audio file that I could do whatever I need to with it, which is kind of cool. Okay, something else that's kind of cool about when you take photos, if you take photos with text in them, so for example this, so here's something I took from the side of a toner cartridge, right? It's even sideways, but obviously has text. When I use my camera to take a picture like that, and I click on the more, one option I have here is grab image text. So I'm going to do that. Once I do that, you can see it took from the photo the text and gave me an editable text box. So I could, including it even translated the foreign language. So I could go in there, I could clean this up a bit. I could copy this text, paste it in something else. But it's then there. So that's an easy way if you, like, let's say you're at a conference and you have a worksheet or a handout or business cards and you don't want to lose all that paper as you travel home, you could use your phone or your iPad to take photos, put stuff into Google Keep, translate it to text, and then use it for something else. And that alone I thought was worth the price of admission. One thing I forgot to show you, in either the app or the website you can make lists. So when you make a list, whatever is next to each plus is a thing to do. If I hit return, it gives me another place to do another thing to do. And then for those lists, anytime I click on something, it will cross it out. So hopefully Google Keep is something that you can use in the future.